I don't know. What was it?
You have to fucking watch it.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Let's see what's going on today. What are we learning, Kiwi?
We're learning X guard.
One leg X, yeah.
One leg.
Right, let's get cracking. I think there's an update on the timetable, so I'm gonna run the classes in 45 minutes from now on. But I'll be hanging around still at the end. But let's get started. It's just recorded, so people who miss it can watch it on YouTube. Hello, pequeña. That's right, it's time again. Can everyone hear me fine? It's all good. I'm gonna get cracking on now. So we have One Leg X Starter's Guide. Those people who have no idea about it, I got you covered. So we're gonna take a look at, I think, One Leg X, X guard, and overhooking X, and hopefully you will at least be able to recognize the position you're in. Yeah, basically. So we have so this is One Leg X, little picture. Very popular in OGI, very popular in the gi as well. Very powerful guard and very hard to pass as well. We'll take a look at the sweeps from each position, but I just want everybody to know the difference between One Leg X, overhooking X, and underhooking X, okay? Especially for the beginners. So we have One Leg X, which is where we have both of our feet. Let me get my drawing tool out 1 second. Okay, how's the sound? There we go. So on One Leg X, most of our legs is focused on one of our partner's legs, which is this one here. So I have 1 foot here, 1 foot in the middle. But we're pinching our knees together, we're lifting our hip, and that's the main difference between this guard and the other guards we're having a look at. The next thing, the next guard, which is like connected to this guard, is gonna be the X, which is this one here. And there's 2 ways of playing it. I want you guys to know the difference between an overhook and an underhook, yeah? So the overhook is where my arm is over the foot, and the underhook where I'm under the foot. That's the main difference between these 2 X guards, okay? The leg work is still the same. We're controlling the far leg this time instead of the near one, but that's the jizz about it, okay? Hold on 1 second. Music's too loud. Let me turn it down. Better? Okay. That should be set now. Okay, so everyone understand the difference between the overhooking X and the underhooking X. That's really important. Okay, as long as you know that, I can move on. So again, just to recap, an overhook is that footlock grip there that we have. This would be an overhook as well. And an underhook is where we go under the leg. Alright? That's the main 3 guards we're going to look at. Again, these are all like beginner level techniques. You can get a lot fancier with all of these guards and sweeps as well. But how to get into the one leg X first, we're going to look at entries. We have 3 main entries we're going to learn today. Spider, which is our first one, very popular one. So we're going to have 2 feet on the biceps over here. Main goal here is to stomp onto the mat to bring your partner forward. Hence you have 1 leg in between and 1 leg out. And then you can find yourself into the one leg X quite easily. You have to juggle your legs a little bit, but you can keep that foot on the bicep as well. There's a very popular sweep where you're just going to let go of the sleeve and grab the trousers instead. And you can go for the sweep straight away without changing your legs. But that's the idea there. So again, this is our spider entry to the one leg X. Stomp onto the mat and then fix your legs. Alright, again, very good guard, really easy to do as well. You just have to have make your partner step forward basically, and you're quite good. Shin to shin entry, the more popular one. This is from sitting guard that we learned last week. So if you want the full details, just watch last week's stuff. But pretty easy entry as well. Set up your shin to shin, roll underneath them, and then lift your hips up to get into our one leg X. Okay, always pinch your legs over here so that people don't step out really quick. And then our last entry, probably the hardest one out of all of them, the De La Riva entry, will be easier once you get the hang of it. But there's a lot of little details that make this technique really powerful. One of them is you have to make the front leg light, in this case, to be able to go to one leg X, okay? So you're doing everything to make the person base on towards that direction. So either with their leg, with their arm, anything to make this leg light so you can lift it, okay? So here I'm just using an irregular kick to make Kirsten base. Now that her bottom leg is free, I can swing my foot in and set up my one leg X. Right? Trouser grips are very good in this entry instead of a regular ankle grip, because you can circle your forearm underneath the foot, and it makes quite a good kind of like basing little thing. And you can go into X or you can go into one leg X. But that's the De La Riva entry there. Again, probably the hardest out of all of them. But once you get the hang of it, it'll probably be the best one. Because these ones are kind of expected and there's quite a few counters towards them. This one's harder to counter. That's it for entries. These are probably your main 3. There's lots more, obviously, but this is from an open guard scenario. We have butterfly, we have half guard entries, which you can look into, but these are the 3 main. Overhooking X transition. So this is where the kind of connection starts, okay, between the one leg X and the X guard, okay. To make it less confusing, because the names are a bit annoying, this is usually our footlock guard, or one leg X they call it. X guard is when we create the X on the far leg, okay? So here's the first transition we're looking at. The reason why we might go to this is because the one leg X is not working, or most commonly when people clear this foot off your hip, which makes the one leg X a lot weaker. So that's when we usually move on. Sorry, I forgot to mention the primary sweep here. Let's do this one first. The primary sweep from the one leg X is the double pants grab, which is you're going to use your outside foot there to scoop the person's leg closer to you, so you can grab the trousers, and then you got yourself quite an easy sweep. Right, you got your regular like just bridge sweep as well, but this one is kind of bulletproof and it's the easiest one. If you got those double pants, they should be swept in most cases. Alright, that's our primary goal from our regular one leg X. Now our transition. So like I said, if that foot on the hip goes, this one here, or the person pushes or you don't find the hip joint, you're better off going to the X. And here's the transition for that. I just gave an example here of me not being able to reach the far trousers, so I choose to go to X now. And then we've got our overhooking X. Sometimes it's called legato guard as well, this one. There is two different types of X guards here. We've got the reverse and the regular, so you will have to drill it a few times depending what you want to do. In no-gi, the reverse X is used for like leg lock entries and knee bars and etc, while the more traditional X guard is used more in the gi. But there are a few transitions that you can do. You can also play this near hook on this hip instead, which is really powerful as well. But just know which leg needs to go where. Alright, so that's our two transitions there. We did the primary sweep. This is what we're going for every single time we're there, where we reach the trousers and we sweep. And if we can't reach the trousers, we could go into the X guard instead, which is that. Right? Now the only thing that changes between an overhooking X guard and an underhooking is just my arm here. My arm could go underneath or over. The overhooking chain that's mostly taught is this one that's coming up next, which is the ankle pick or the ankle kick. Okay, fairly simple. You manage to get your X here, and the two things you're looking for is either an ankle pick, which is where I pull my X guard legs together to make Kirstine here step closer, which then you can grab the ankle and you can create a bend on the knee and just come up on top. So again, pull your partner in with the X, grab the ankle and sweep. So I'm calling that the ankle pick. Ankle kick works very well together. Okay, you're either gonna hit one or the other when you're trying this, or none if the guy's good. So we have our X transition again. This time I'm trying to get a hold of this leg by pulling in, but Kirstine keeps stepping it out every time. Okay, so instead I'm gonna slide my foot from the bend of her knee to her ankle, and I'm just gonna lift that up into the air and torque her to the side instead. So that's the ankle kick. Okay, so again, these two sweeps work really well together. You're either gonna try to find the ankle here, where you pull in and you sweep, or they're gonna have a wider base stepping out, or you could stretch them out as well. So stretch, slide your foot down and trip them backwards. Again, at a high level, these are not used very much, okay, and they're very predictable. But I don't think. Oh, the next slice is our overhooking X. So this is the most traditional one. This is the one that everybody tends to use in comps and etc. There's two ways you can go about this, right? You could rush the overhook, or you can take your time like I'm showing you here. so that there's less risk of you getting counter. Okay, so normally if I am going to try this technique, I'll first start in this sort of overhooking footlock. I'm gonna torque the knee, and I'm gonna go underneath it like this. Right, and the main reason is that a lot of times, right, when we're trying to do this overhook here without controlling this knee, the person can just bring this leg back or step away. But it's really important that you control the knee with one hand while you swim with the other arm. Otherwise, the person can just kind of get out of there really easily or step out. And that's the traditional get up. Okay, a lot of different finishes here, a lot of different reactions from your partner. They could be standing, they could try to force their weight back onto you. The main little sequence here is just the technical stand that we practice the start of class and etc. Where you stretch, base, and you come up. Cool, so that's our technical stand. So to recap, our basic chain is always going to be, we take our one leg X, okay, and we're trying to double ankle sweep. So we're just playing around there until we can grab the ankles and sweep. If that's not working, I'll advise you to transition to a different guard. A good one is an overhook X. Alright, so I'm trying to reach for that leg, I can't. So I'm going to switch to my X instead. And then from the X, we have a couple more options. We have the ankle pick. Just bringing the leg a bit closer. And grabbing that ankle and then bending the knee. Or we have the ankle kick, which is the trip. And again, you can get really creative with the sweep as well. There's a lot of little tricks that you can learn. Just slide the foot down, you trip them. For whatever reason, these are not working, or you're playing against a good basing partner, that's usually when these don't work. You're better off going to our X transition, which is we're going to torque the knee to the side, swim underneath, get that like shin all the way to our shoulder, and then we can use our X guard to do a technical stand. So I've got a question here with the technical stand. Which way do you circle when your opponent is particularly stubborn? So there's lots of different ways to finish the sweep. If they're being stubborn, right, there's two things that they'll normally do. Kirstine here didn't give me like a proper reaction, so she just fell. But in the real world, right, people tend to, if they really want to avoid a sweep or whatever, okay, or not get swept, they'll grab a hold of your collar. The only hand they'll ever base on is this one, so they'll never base with this arm. That's a free sweep. Anytime they base, you can just get up faster than them. But if Kirstine based on her left arm here and looked towards me, it will be harder for me to get up, okay? So this is where this foot comes into play. This is going to be the chopping foot. This is going to go to the bend of her kneecap, and this one is going to base. So I think I do that. There, okay? Now she fell, but right now I'd be with a good stance, okay, up on my hand usually, so I can bring this leg back. And then you'll be with a hopping partner on one leg, if you can imagine that. Kirstine will be one leg and will be exactly in the same sort of stance over here. This is where you've got like a lot of options. You can try to just kick the basing leg by like chopping with this foot. But your main way of doing things, you're going to use this overhook here to circle the person in this direction, if that makes sense. So you're going to kind of open up their knee to torque their knee, and that will force them to fall. Or if they're really athletic, the only thing that they can do is like try to like run away or do like a backflip on you, which is not very common. The running away is more common, if that makes sense. You're getting this circle thing. You're probably getting confused with the single legs. Okay, this is a bit different. Usually with this get up, you just wanna trip the person, or like I said, circle them into this direction here. Cool. So I didn't forgot to video this, but the passes to watch out for in any of these scenarios is a back step. Okay. Again, the big clue that someone's gonna do a back step on you comes from them clearing the foot off your hip. So if you see someone grabbing onto your toes here and clearing this off, they're usually trying to do a back step, right? But there's not that many ways that you can stop it. Okay, there's a few sweeps that you can try to do and hit it, but your main goal is like, if someone's fidgeting with your foot, just switch to the X straight away. So don't play around and get your X. And then usually the biggest trouble you're gonna come across from the X is again the back step. Okay, is where people push this shin this time and they take a back step towards this direction. But it's really easy to do as a person on top against a stationary X guard player. So the X, you get your X and you're not doing anything, the guy is gonna most likely pass. All right. But if you're always pulling and pushing and making the guy base, then he's gonna have a harder time to pass your guard. All right. So always use this X to kind of like threaten the ankle pick, threaten the X, the other sweep. Okay, threaten stuff. Even if you don't have a plan, just keep pulling and pushing with your legs, and that will make it harder for them to pass. If you just stay there and you do nothing from this X pass, it's a lot easier to pass than it is to sweep. So the person will create, everyone knows this pass, so they'll clear this foot and they'll do a back step. Okay, so don't just wait around there. That's usually why people go to the underhooking first. It's because once you torque that knee, the person's base is already like all off to the side, you see? So it's easier for you to set up your moves and etc. But like I said, you will find people that have extremely good base, and this is going to be so difficult to do, alright? And that's why we have other guards. So if you're having a hard time sweeping people from these guards, there are different moves that you can do. One that I use that I don't show at all here, it's a really powerful version of the X, which you use this foot on the near hip instead, which you can do a lot of balloon sweeps over the head, which can become really powerful as well. Alright? Any questions about the one leg X before we move on? But that's a really easy beginner's guide. Again, we learned a few sweeps from there. Our primary sweep from one leg X is the double ankle. And then all I wanted you guys to learn really here is the difference between the overhooking X and the underhooking X. Okay, on Friday we'll take a look at all of the other options and do this foot locks and etc. Okay, but this is our main little transition there. The one leg sprawl, it only happens, okay, when you're not controlling the foot very well. So let's say, I think this transition here. So there's two main things that causes you to lose this position, right? If this foot is not on the hip and you don't have the ankle control, the person can put this knee on the mat and they can sprawl on you. Okay, again, very difficult thing to do unless the person times it very well. If this is happening to you, it's usually because you're not keeping this foot across really well, or you don't have a foot lock grip, right? The only time someone should be able to do this to you, if you're not making a mistake, is between the transition of you going to the underhooking X. This is the only real time someone should be doing this successfully is this time, when the person's reaching underneath. Okay, and that's why I have to torque a knee before I underhook. Okay, if I just underhook right now, that would be a free sprawl for Kirsten. She'll smash me in this position. Alright, hope that clears up. But yeah, keep that foot on the ankle really strong. And if someone clears the foot off your hip, if they clear this off, don't stay here, otherwise you're gonna get sprawled. Go to your X straight away. Cool, but it does happen a lot, especially at the beginning levels. And I use it as a pass as well. You will learn a lot more if you sprawl on people when they get you on one leg X. You will see that if you try to sprawl while they have this foot on the hip, nothing will happen. Same thing if they have a footlock grip, nothing will happen. But if you can clear this off, or you can time them going for the overhook, anytime you see someone not using this hand, just using this one to go for underhook, sprawl on them. It's a very good pass. And you'll teach them as well what they did wrong. Cool? Alright, so next up, so that's it for this bit of the lesson. So next up we'll have the fight analysis. I haven't watched this one, but we have Adam versus Leandro Lo. Now I know both of them play one leg X, so I'll be pretty surprised if none of them get into one leg X at this point. Alright, so again, this guy here, good spider guard, good one leg X. This guy here is a bit more different. He plays butterfly, half guard, and one leg X. Okay, so we're gonna see a lot of, hopefully we're gonna see a lot of moves from our butterfly lesson from him. This is butterfly guy, and this is one leg X / spider guard, this guy, or open guard as well. So kind of nice little fight to look to watch, because you will see a lot of techniques we saw in the past, if this goes according to plan. So you can see Adam here pulls half guard straight away. Sitting guard here. So Adam, not really an open guard player. He always focuses on, there's our shin to shin entry there. And like I said, we should see some one leg X in this match. So this is quite interesting here. There it is, one leg X. Okay, that's his entry there. So that was just a shin to shin, exactly like we saw sitting guard entry. Now we saw a little bit of what Adam was talking about there, which is the sprawl. See here, Leandro Lo is trying to like sprawl on top of him. Right now Adam doesn't have any form of control over the foot. So the only thing saving him right now is because Leandro's weight is all the way on that side. But this is a nice little example of good recovery here. But you can see even then it's really hard for Leandro Lo to stop it. And he gets his one leg X. Foot goes on the hip. And now we see our overhooking one leg Xer. So Leandro Lo, again, like I said, most people are going to try to clear this foot off your hip. That's the number one moves, pretty much. Let me just go like this. And there's the back step, right? So again, everything like I said, every time you get into this guard, this is your number one move you're expecting. You should be ready for it. Again, it happened in like 1 second. Big back step. Adam still manages to recover really well. He just swings his legs back in position. Here's the double ankle grab attempt. Grabs the double ankle. And here's a good example of how to avoid it. Okay. Leandro knows the sweep, obviously. Okay, is one of his sweeps as well. So he's basing his hand on the mat, and he's leaning all his weight on top of him. Okay, which makes it harder for Adam here to start the sweep. So here, this is where the overhooking X transition comes into play, or the X transition. So Adam could bring this foot to this side and start doing a lot of balloon sweeps and lots of different entries to Leandro Lo. But let's see what he does. Again, it's a 10-minute match, so I reckon he might just hold it off there. There's our overhooking transition. Like I said, if he's got the overhook, he's usually looking for a get up. That was a toe hold attempt there. Again, Leandro Lo's base is like really good, so it is quite difficult to pull off the sweep. Again, a bit of a stalemate here. There's the trip. That was an ankle kick we just saw there. But he can't, it's hard to finish the ankle kick sweep. So it's really easy for Leandro Lo to recover there. Now here we go. This is the transitioning happening now. Now this is a bit different. This is a wader transition. So I haven't showed you guys this. Or he's actually gone back to butterfly. So Leandro Lo now, aggressive backstepping pass. So Adam's entry again is going to be a shin to shin here. He's either aiming for butterfly guard or he's aiming for one leg X. It's hard for Adam to get his butterfly guard because Leandro is a standing style passer. So unless Leandro drops to his knee, it's difficult for Adam. He keeps stepping out. Really nice pass sequence here. And he's onto the back. So there's one of the issues of butterfly guard, obviously, is people like basically standing against it. This is like a good example of it. And Leandro is just doing like regular X and Toriada passes, forces Adam to turtle, and jumps on his back. Again, we see this a lot in high level fights where people will give up the back to avoid the passing points. That's what happened here. Does he get the points here? Adam landed in quite a nice spot, so he's pretty much escaped. And he doesn't get the points. So that's the overhooking butterfly grip Adam keeps trying to desperately get there. You see him reaching over the top. So you saw in our gi class, butterfly class that we did, we had a little sequence of an overhook butterfly sweep. That's Adam's main move. Using the shin to shin again here. Lift. And there's a beautiful sweep. Really nice. Let's watch that again. So that's one of his, there's a BJJ study on Adam's butterfly guard. You can have a look at his sweeps. I think he calls this one, I can't remember the name. But it's one of the sweeps he regularly does. But really nice. Lands on top, he's 2 points up now. And Adam's got like really good pressure passing, so let's see if he 3/4 mount now. And straight to mount. Jesus. There's the grapevines on the legs there. 9 points up. When was this? 2019. Panams. So Adam's quite well known here in Europe. He's one of the Polish gangsters. I can't remember where he trains, but he's around the UK a lot for seminars and he competes a lot. I fought him once as well. Smashed me in the absolutes. Pure pressure there. That's how he broke it. Basically, that was quite normally right when people get into the 3/4 mount position like this. And unfortunately, you can't see it here, but Adam already has a near side underhook, which stops 90% of Leandro's low counter. Like if he's got that near side underhook, Leandro Law can't go to deep half. He can't like frame Adam's hip, which we saw from like a few lessons back, that we can go to deep half really easily if we have a frame of the hip here. So he's got underhook on that side, or very good jaw pressure. And now here Leandro is pushing him away, not focusing on the knee here. Okay, so Adam now is going to get an underhook on this arm, and that kind of negates pretty much half of Leandro's low counter. But it was the near side underhook on the other side that did the damage there. You can't really see it, but instead of a crossface, he has the underhook on this side here, which kind of like puts tremendous pressure. So Leandro kind of gave up because of the pressure. He just gave up the 3/4 mount. Again, these are like heavyweight guys, so when they get into these 3/4 positions and etc., it's pretty much guaranteed a mount or some form of pass if the person on the bottom makes one mistake. So Leandro turns on the side there. Adam's probably gonna look for the back, or he might stay there for a bit. That's the gift arm there. So again, the double underhook from mount with your arm like trapped like that is just horrible. So Leandro turtles to avoid. Hooks goes in. There's the choke. And there's the tap. Probably a big upset here. But I'm pretty sure Leandro was blitz at this point. The passing at the start, it just gassed out. Especially against him, he's like a really hard fighter, so his cardio levels are like low in that little sequence. But yeah, we didn't see much action of One Leg X, but we saw a couple of entries from Adam here. But I guarantee you guys, if you just look up fights between these two guys here, you're gonna see a lot of One Leg X guard from Leandro Law or Adam. So feel free, and there's nice BJJ scout studies on both of them. You can have a look as well. I'll just put it in the link now if I can find it. BJJ scout. I think Leandro Low. Here's Leandro Low's one. And then we have, this is my favorite one. If you want to get good at butterfly, I don't think he might do one leg X later, but these I highly recommend watching these two if you got the time. Yeah, that Adam butterfly one changed my butterfly game when I started playing it. It's really good, and he has a nice little clean system that you can follow. More for Gi. No Gi, I'll stick to someone else. No problem. That's it for the cost, pretty much, guys. I'll post the lesson in the Discord page after if you want the PowerPoint. Any questions, fire them away. If you wanna join the Discord, join in. I'll be hanging around for a bit. Who's Wibbly Woo? That is a quality name. Alright guys, not sure what to do next week, so if you guys want anything, put it in the chat now, and I'll try to come up with a lesson. If it's too hard, I'll pick something else. Butterfly. We kind of did a little bit of half butterfly already. I'll send you the PowerPoint if you don't have it, but we did a little system from the butterfly already. But it was just primary sweeps and etc. Let's see what's up on BJJ Reddit these days. If you guys got more questions, I'll read them out. But yeah, I think it was if you want to look at it, which lesson was it? I think it was, if I look in the playlist, I'll tell you which one it was on, because the name, it wasn't called Butterfly God, so that's probably why you couldn't. YouTube Studio. Let me see the name. Sitting guard, quarter guard. It was in a half guard strategies video. So one of the half guard strategies was butterfly, and then I showed the available sweeps from there. And if you basically use Adam's video after my little sequence, you will have a full window of moves, and it'll be like a lot more clear for you. So you know when to use the butterfly, and then you can follow all of Adam's move, and that's like a really good way of learning butterfly. You have a proper clean system, because Adam doesn't show you when to use it. He just, because he's got naturally long legs and he's quite good at it as his main guard, he just uses it all the time and he forces it on people. But you're probably gonna find it really difficult to do at the start, to force people into the guard. So it's a little bit better to find the right time to do it, and then once you get really good at it, you'll be able to find your own ways into those little sequences. Cool. My browser just crashed. Alright. 1 second. Everything's crashed. I think the stream's the one.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Alright, we're back. See if anyone joined the Discord. Killy, what's the news, Killer?
The news is
Yes.
my makeup's coming.
What was the delivery just now?
Yeah, this.
Your makeup? Kirsten ordered makeup from where? from America and she didn't know about shipping costs or shipping tax.
Yeah, well.
So she got hit pretty heavily. Someone's asking what makeup.
M Cosmetics.
M Cosmetics.
I completely forgot about shipping tax.
What brand? Where's Yusuf? I miss Yusuf. Send me a message.
I'll let you know. I don't really buy that much makeup, so.
Oh crap. Rogero's class starting in 10 minutes. Nah, you joined the right one, Yusuf. What? Yusuf said he can tell she hardly buys makeup.
Why? So you don't know about the shipping tax?
No, it's a compliment. He's saying you don't use makeup.
I'm just not talented in it. If I was, I'd use it all the time.
Yusuf, join the voice channel. Yusuf is my Call of Duty partner.
I feel like doing that little.
See you, Steve. Take care, brother.
Man, did you
Hello. What's up, bro?
yeah, did you get Call of Duty finally?
Yes. Well, I started the download. It's like 20 freaking gigabytes. I need to like download it overnight.
Man, I got a new graphics card.
Yeah. Do you know how to put it on?
It's a game changer. Yeah, I added it, everything.
Is it properly running now?
Yeah, like total transformation. Like the Red Dead Redemption 2 is an incredible game now.
I tried playing that, but I got into it a little bit, but it was so much walking. Just riding the horse everywhere.
Yeah, at first I was, you know what I mean? But then I started to understand it and see how big and how free you are to do anything. And just, you know,
Bye bye, Elise. It's a lot easier than Call of Duty. Me and Kirsten have been playing this game
send me your handle, we can.
called Overcooked.
Oh, it's so cute. I love it so much.
Have you seen
Igor
Overcooked?
hates it.
It's harder than Call of Duty.
Overcooked.
It's actually harder. It's like the stupid game where you're basically just cooking, right?
It's a co-op game. A co-op cooking game.
Look at this. Basically this.
It's only hard for him because he doesn't have a controller.
And you have to like just make dishes and
It's
stuff.
so fun.
But you have to like do it on the time. It's so stressful, man. It's like the most stressful thing ever.
It's such a good game.
Like it's a recipe for fights. Are you joining Rogero's conditioning today?
Oh, I don't know, man.
Let's go, man.
These days.
Come on, we have to. I've been trying to push myself to do it. Even Kirsten is joining today.
Yeah. So happy.
Yeah, good. I'll check it out.
Alright, my hand. Wait, let me find. Oh, my handle's not on this one. I'll text it to you.
Sorry, press wrong button.
Oh, let me just end the stream. Forgot to end it. Alright, if you're still watching, goodbye, guys. Let's go over to Rogerio's stuff. Conditioning class.